Hello everyone, welcome back. So today we're going to talk about obviously something important, and that's money, and businesses, economics in general, but from the perspective of change, of this period of time that we're living, this immense change that we're going through right now. So we use money in this world, obviously, to exchange services, goods, things like that, although there's some parts of the world that don't use that, but most of the world uses money as a way to exchange goods, services, things like that. So long story short, the thing is that not very far in the future, money will disappear. It's a natural progression of how the energy will override a certain mind, and of course the limited mind that has existed until now, because this until very recently has been a closed system. So the the control over resources, over things like that is changing, and although today we see that things are changing, but then again we see the people that are still trying to hold on to that kind of world, to that kind of mentality, to that kind of like predatory mindset, which is still affecting a lot of areas, not just economics, but personal relationship. But I'll go into that in another video. So this mindset that has been until now, this thing where like I'm going to accumulate for myself and I need to be safe, is going to relax, so to speak, is going to gain this, like, as things progress and we are getting out of this, we've been strangled until now. So this thing where like we have to fight for certain things to have access to services, goods, things like that, is going to has to but and will be more relaxed, to the point where we actually move beyond what this reality looks like right now. I know for now this kind of sounds science fiction, although it's not that science fictional, because in Europe, those of you who live in Europe and come from Europe like myself know that there's talk for implementing the guaranteed income, and already Finland has implemented that for 3 years now. And although it's just in the beginning of this, like, testing how this will influence how the dynamic of the market or whatever will work, or how people will be motivated to work or not, well, leaving all the questions and critiques surrounding this, like, guaranteed income, we will move toward that kind of situation, because as I was previously saying in another video, technology is here to stay. So technology will influence so much from now. It already influences a lot, but from now on will influence so much how we exist, how we do things from now on, that and I know, again, there's certain minds on the spiritual path that will refuse to listen to what I have to say right now. But then again, I said, think about all the things that you're using right now to even actually have access to what you're watching right now. So technology is here to stay and will overriding everything. And as things that until now seem impossible to even have access to, services, goods, anything basically, like even learning a skill or something like that, because of technology, we are given access to a wider variety of things, and how one can develop him or herself further from now on. So because of this, a lot of things will become obsolete, and it's hard to accept. It's hard to accept for those that until now have lived in a certain way, and technology is taking, those benefits, though, that, like, it's like forcing them to rethink, like, okay, I'm in this good position, but technology right now puts me under somewhere where I don't want to be, because now more and more people have access to a lot of things, a lot of information, a lot of knowledge, and on one thing, I mean, on one side, this thing is great, and on the other, there's a lot of noise that is coming through right now, and one has to actually have discernment to what is relevant, what is not, what it's just noise, and what it's good, what it helps us to move forward. And this is actually the greatest challenge right now, as in like to understand that technology is basically destroying all those barriers that exist in general in different industry. Like, I don't know, you look at like printing press, let's say, that was invented in late 15th century, and back then there was no such thing as like we have now. Everyone was reading books, and that person, Gutenberg, didn't think like, oh, I'm gonna make a lot of money from this, and I'm gonna whatever. It was time for that thing to be brought into this reality, so things can move forward. And as that thing came in, other people saw its benefits, the use of that, and developed on that idea. So see the growth of like what, I know, publishing is or has become. And now, because of technology, there's no more, we don't have anymore necessarily the blockages of like, okay, if you don't want to publish my book, I mean being rejected by a publishing house or whatever. If you write a book, you can publish it yourself. There's a lot of independent platform, and you can get your message out there. Then again, doing this, as I said, the challenge today is like, how can you get out there something relevant and like navigate through all the noise? So that is, it's what's challenging today. But also is because most people still live at a level, as I said, from below their stomach, but also because the reality holds them in place to live like that, and they're still captive to those stories, to those beliefs of like how life should be, how whatever relationships, things like that should be, and that makes them choose certain directions and like how they're going to go about things. And yeah, but as I said, technology, and not just technology, but technology is the thing that will move things forward, and it's a bridge between visible and invisible. That's what most people don't understand, and don't I mean, at least on this path of on the spiritual path, don't actually see or acknowledge, is that the moment, it's like until now, okay, magic was thought something that is like, it's unseen, it's out of nowhere, and bam, something happens, like, wow, magic. The moment that thing is understood and brought into this reality and replicated in a way or many ways, then that thing becomes technology. That doesn't make it less magical. It's still magic in a different way, but it's just like bridging invisible with visible in this reality, or what that current level of reality is. So those things merge until that thing becomes like there's no more veil between one reality right now, the limited frequency, whatever, where this thing exists, and from where the original thoughts of those, how those things can exist, disappears. So that's what most people don't understand, that technology is actually a bridge between visible and invisible, and that it will naturally help one to not focus anymore on survival, because we're not meant to just survive, we're meant to thrive, we're meant to go beyond this really limited existence and explore consciousness and develop beyond this type of reality and what life here, the language here says that life is. So yes, that's what's going to happen. It's already happening, but I guess for most people this is not really something that is visible, I mean, evident, and that's why I mean, most people, as I said, are trapped in patterns, in drama, and all sorts of terrible things. But as the currents of this energy is starting to like enter more and more this reality, and for those that are able to access it through creating space inside themselves and clean themselves and grow that that energy and that light and that space, those things will become increasingly clearer and evident, and they will become a reality. Because when I'm talking about things like this, I do not talk about from an intellectual standpoint or from a book. I'm talking about from this perspective that I experience already inside myself and is growing day by day. That doesn't mean it's easy for me, because there's other challenges that I have to deal with as well. But going back to money, businesses, and things like that, I mean, I want to give you another example with, for instance, the financial services, how much have evolved because of technology. A lot of the banking system that has existed until now has been kind of like under the monopoly of just only a few at the top of the world. And because of technology, that thing is being freed and being made accessible to basically to everyone. We have now things like cryptocurrency, we have blockchain. Well, for those of you that don't know what blockchain is, well, maybe we'll talk about another video, but those of you that know, you know what I'm talking about. So a lot of these things are basically they dissolve this monopoly around money and finances and all this what is considered like unfair, or I should pay this fee or this and that, whatever. These things, as I said, until now have existed because everyone has to survive somehow, or whatever. That's how it was seen, as like whatever. But yes, technology is here to stay, and already is like, I mean, think about like when PayPal showed up in our lives, what was that, early 2000s, and now how many other services of sending and receiving money without any fees and things like that, with no interference from the banks, are existing right now, as well as like now we have cryptocurrencies, not just Bitcoin, but a million other currencies. And so, as I said, blockchain, which basically decentralizes this whole information, but makes it more safe and makes a lot of things, services and whatever, our exchange safer, but then again transparent. And yeah, as I said, they're not under the monopoly of a bank or this kind of institution that until now have been really, yeah, predatory and things like that. So technology here is actually to its purpose is basically, as I said, bridging visible with the invisible, and making things easier for people, and not be at the mercy of this like this manual, this limited way of existing, of doing things, this a lot of red tape, when all that can be solved in just, I don't know, a few keystrokes or whatever. So that's it. Technology is and will change the game in this reality. So yeah, we will move beyond money. We will see from now on an unfoldment that is like, although right now there's parts of the world, like also in US, that things like guaranteed income sounds, as I said, science fiction. It's not. Things will move in that direction because, as I said, things now become, I mean, everything, all the barriers, having access to certain industries, things, whatever, will dissolve. And a lot of industries will become obsolete, things, products will become obsolete because the needs for those things will dissolve in itself. Other needs are coming forward as we evolve, as we grow, as we expand our awareness, to the point of, like, as I said, it sounds beyond a certain point in energy, what people understand here, reality, this just doesn't exist. It's just ridiculous. So, as I said, this kind of progression right now, well, will happen, and it's necessary to reach a point where even this, whatever, at some point will become obsolete. And yeah, the future is really bright and unlimited and different, although right now it seems like it's strangling everyone at some point, I mean in different ways. But yeah, we need to keep pushing forward and cleaning ourselves, having clarity, creating that space inside ourselves so we can access those higher thoughts, meaning that as we grow our energy, other ideas, concepts are available, and then we'll find ways to implement them and, as I said, bridge higher reality into this one until they become one. So yeah, that's the process. It's not easy, but that's how it's going to be. I hope this was interesting. See you next time. Ciao. So you're asked to see beyond certain patterns so you can actually move forward, because if you cannot see